Okay, we're back. We have even more trade news. I know. I said I get it. It's probably like if anyone ever sees these videos, it's probably gonna be a meme in my community. Oh, the trade deadline's been really dry. Well, it's because A, the trade deadline hasn't happened yet. And B, more importantly, it's not dry. The CBA is good. It's still working as intended. Okay, look, give me a break, man. I didn't think it would be this hectic. Also, if you can see this in here, it's just my laptop. I don't have the screen in frame because it would look like this. Okay, so I've covered a lot of trades so far. I've obviously covered the Harden trade. I started off talking about how the trade deadline was very dry, with the trade for Keon Ellis and DeAndre Hunter and Dennis Schroeder, and people probably thought that that was going to be the end of it. I know I did. I thought that was like, oh, yep, this is going to be the peak of the trades because a lot of teams aren't really in like trade now mode, and like the teams that should be in trade now mode are seemingly not in trade now mode. So yeah, I was like, they're just not going to blow it up. So the Bulls have completely torn everything down. Just like we were wondering, like what are they doing? Like why do they have so many guards on the roster? They're finally starting to address that right now. They're trading Ayo Sumo to Minnesota. I think this was just a part of the deal that wasn't like talked about because I initially remember seeing like, oh, well, Mike McConley's being moved. What are the what is Memphis getting back? They're finalizing the trade, and apparently they're getting Ayo Sumo. I'm assuming that's going to be a guard in their rotation, considering they just seem to hate. I was going to say Shaden Sharp, but that's not the right player. It's they drafted a kid with the last name. I'd say kid. He's like my age or older. The last name is Shannon. I cannot remember his name to save the life of me, but yeah, he's been traded. Yabusele has made his way also to the New York Bulls. He's been traded for Dallin Terry. I know you're saying to yourself, who the fuck is Dallin Terry? And yeah, I couldn't tell you, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been watching enough Bulls games to know fucking Dallin Terry. Let's talk about some bigger news. Jonathan Kuminga has been traded he's finally been traded, by the way, to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I'm not really sure what the fuck this like trade means for either team, to be quite honest. Because of Porzingis is just very, very injury prone. Obviously, if healthy, and I know we're saying if healthy, he fits the team very well. I like what he brings to the table, obviously, but it's always been if healthy with Porzingis, and it's been if healthy for Porzingis for a very long time since he was in, even in Washington. So I'm just not very confident in his playing ability, considering he doesn't play that much. I just want to say that straight up. Um. So yeah, that's something. Kaminga is finally being moved off the Golden State Warriors. I don't know what took them so long, and yeah, that's something. The Warriors seem to be in like panic mode, because Jimmy Butler went down obviously with that season-ending injury. Obviously, they should have been in panic mode since 2023. Literally since they won the championship, they should have been panic mode every day. The Golden State Warriors have made another move yesterday. They traded their center, which they desperately need depth at the center position. So if anyone asks you why they made this trade, tell them that you have no idea and that you're just as confused as the rest of us, because that's what I'm telling you. I have no idea why they made this trade. It is quite mind-boggling actually. They sent it. They sent Jackson Davis to the Toronto Raptors for a second round pick via the Lakers. It's a 2026 second round pick. So there have been a lot of teams just moving around second picks because I think everyone finally realizes the value of first round picks and they're not willing to trade those things like at all. Which, hey, dude, I get it, man. You don't want teams walking around having all of these draft picks looking like how the OKC Thunder went around. You don't want that in Philly, obviously, right? Yeah, the Clippers. The Clippers. Oh God. So anyway, let me talk about the Cavs really quickly because obviously they've been very relevant this trade deadline. Their two players that they've traded for have played for them today. Had played for them yesterday. I'm dating the video a little bit, but I mean it doesn't really matter. It's a trade. It's a trade deadline video, like so. I mean it was gonna get dated anyway. Um, they obviously traded those two players. Those two players have made it their way to Cleveland. And with that being said, they played a pretty good game last night. I like Keon Ellis. He's a very good addition to the roster. fits exactly what we needed. We needed a defensive guard to make up for the liability that was Darius Garland. Now, obviously, Darius Garland is no longer on a roster, but James Harden is not much better of a defender than Darius Garland. I don't think that he will give as much effort. Obviously, his frame alone makes him a vastly better defender, even if he's giving effort on that side. So yeah, there's that. Also, Harden says he wants to contend, so I'm assuming he's willing to do those things to contend. I like that. Dennis Schroeder played a very Dennis Schroeder game last night. Very consistent, reliable, like around 14-ish points or so. Very, very, very good. Lonzo Ball is no longer on the team. I forgot to talk about that when he was traded. They did that yesterday, though. Well, I mean, obviously that was something that was going to happen because I was like, why would you trade for 2 guards if Lonzo was still on the roster? And if Darius was still on the roster when they did that, obviously they were making room for another guard. They traded him to get out of cap hell, if anyone was wondering why they did that. By the way, they traded for him to avoid cap hell, by the way. So, because they were like, we're not paying Ty Jerome. We can't do that. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work. By the way, the team that did pay Ty Jerome, I forgot to talk about this in the Jaren Jackson Jr. part of the video yesterday because I was just like so, like bewildered with the Cavs moves and all that. They traded Vince, one of their players on the team. Let me pull up his name. I think it's Vince Williams. I could be wrong. I thought it was a solid young player, and I didn't really fucking like that, like, at all. I did not like that. Did I talk about... I'm not sure if I... No, I didn't talk about any of this shit, because it's brand spanking new, basically. We'll talk about that stuff very quickly, but they traded Vince Williams. I didn't think that was a good move for them. I have no idea why they did that. Kevin Huerter. Where's Kevin Huerter being sent to? He was in that Mike Conley train. Darius Arce was sent to the Pistons. I talked about that. Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah. Let me fully break down this Memphis Grizzlies trade really quickly though. It's a bit old now, but hey. They traded John Conchar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams Jr., and Jaren Jackson Jr. for Walton Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and George Niang. Now, George Niang has been passed around the fucking league like crazy as of late. Poor George Niang, dog. To be fair, though, I didn't want him on my team, so I get why he's a very tradable asset. Very nice contract to move around, you know. Yeah, Jesus Christ, professional guys, man, tough. They also got 3 future first round picks from Utah. I think this is a win-win trade for everybody involved. This is a great idea. It's a very logical trade. Obviously, the Memphis Grizzlies were sellers, and they wanted to get them off the team. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. is valuable. I'm sorry. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a very valuable asset that, you know, sometimes can, like, be fluky. And getting some other players attached to that also really helps. The consistency of it. I don't really like moving Vince Williams Jr., but if you had to trade him to make this deal work, that works fine. Walton Clayton Jr. is a very solid NBA player. Kyle Anderson... I think Slow-Mo is making his second stint in Memphis, actually. So, not too bad for him. That's all I really wanted to say about that. I think it's a very good trade. I didn't really talk about how they got 3 first-round picks out of that. Yeah. Okay. I think I talked about Vucevic role. Well, I didn't have the chance to talk about this because this is brand spanking new from the perspective of specifically my audience that has no idea what else is going on in the basketball world. Jeez. So I was talking about the Cavaliers and my second team, you know, my hometown heroes, as it were, my former Baltimore Bullets, my current Washington Wizards have traded for Anthony Davis. Oh my goodness. So I just want you to keep this in mind because they traded for Anthony Davis, right? Because they got Anthony Davis. I just want you to remember the Dallas Mavericks turned Luka into Max Christie, Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and Malik Brown. Now AJ Johnson's a very solid player. That's cool. Oh, sorry, my bad. I forgot. Marvin Bagley III, 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. Now this is kind of the haul that you guys needed. It's kind of the haul that you guys fucking needed. I don't know whose first-round picks these are, because what? Oh, sorry, they're right here. They're a 2030 pick from the Warriors. That could be valuable. That's one that actually could be worth something. So, not too terrible. If you had to salvage what you had, getting D'Lo the fuck off your team is a good move. I think Chris Middleton could be valuable for like I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to keep Jason Kidd happy. That's probably why they got Chris Middleton the deal. Cool. If it's not a salary thing. Dante Exum, another player that really wasn't doing too much for them. So this trade is basically just AD for these players. AD Johnson is a solid player. That's a solid deal. I like that. Bagley, I know you're going to say to yourself, what does Marvin Bagley do for the fucking goddamn Dallas Mavericks? Don't you already have a million bigs? Well, you would have had a million bigs if Derek Lively could stay healthy. He can't though. So Marvin Bagley is a solid thing for that. That's cool. Obviously Anthony Davis is never healthy, so like that's something that can help your front court out a little bit. Defensive end, obviously defensively they're already a very good team with or without AD. So having this is not really going to change that much on the defensive end. Offensively, they're not going to get much better. I'm not going to lie. That is a major problem with them. AJ Johnson is a very nice prospect and a rookie. And Kidd is a good coach for developing young talent. So that could be something nice for them. I don't like losing out on Jaden Hardy, but if you had to do it to get the trade done, I understand. Their first round pick from the Warriors is very valuable. The first round pick from the Thunder, not so much. I don't think anyone needs me to explain why it's not as valuable. Speaking of the Thunder, they traded for Jared McCain, and they only had to trade the Rockets' first round pick for this year, which is not going to convey to be anything special at all, and 3 second round picks. That's all they had to trade to get Jared McCain. Jared McCain, who was the runaway rookie of the year candidate before getting injured. He's being added to the guard rotation in Jesus Christ, in Oklahoma. I don't know why I blanked out like that. Yeah. Shea is, by the way, Shea is clearly not going to be playing for the All-Star game, so that's going to make the quality of the game even worse. I said that my next video would be talking about the All-Star team and the format of that, but nope, we have a lot of trade news to discuss. So I'll get back to that eventually. If I remember. I like this deal, especially because they're doing this obviously to allow them to bring back Quentin Grimes, which was clarified by Shams very quickly after the trade was broken down. Everyone was very surprised about it though. But I like it. I like it. The solid trade. Let's talk about another trade. Sorry, I just saw something crazy. Lakers center Jackson Hayes has been suspended for 1 game for pushing Wizards mascot. Why are you pushing my man's G Wiz, bro? He a G and a Wiz, bro. Like, what did he ever do to you? Nah, anyway. Kobe White has been traded to the Charlotte Hornets. I know everyone's saying to themselves, what? Kobe White and Michael Conley Jr., who was rerouted from Minnesota, two M cities, are being sent to the Charlotte Hornets in exchange for Colin Sexton, who is a worse version of Kobe White. Don't know what the fuck that was about. And Oyu Sing, Osume Dieng, who was pretty okay and actually really helpful for the Charlotte Hornets' current win streak that they are currently on as of today. I think it's an 8-game win streak. No idea why they did that. Not a single fucking clue why they did that. I don't like it. I don't like this trade very much. It's cool that you're upgrading for Colin Sexton, but that was not the things that this team needed to address. You had Brandon Miller. Your star guys are Brandon Miller and Lonzo Ball. So I don't really understand this. And also blah blah blah. And obviously your rookie of the year candidate Con Knipple. So I don't think the guard rotation needed any more depth. Yes, LaMelo can be injury prone, but god damn it, this is not going to help. This is not going to change. This is not it, bro. I don't fucking like that. I don't really like this for anybody involved. Especially not Chicago. Why the fuck are we just now trading Kobe White? I don't, like, maybe you should have traded him, like, a couple of years ago, and he would have had more value. But, like, right now, what does this do? Like genuinely, what does this do for them? Sorry, I saw this detail in the back of my scenery, and I have to change it and fix it. But yeah, I don't really like that trade at all. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty weird. Los Angeles Clippers and Brooklyn Nets and the Toronto Raptors have agreed to a multi-trade deal that would be sending Chris Paul and OG Anunoby and a Raptors 2032 second rounder in cash to the Nets. I don't understand why the Nets are getting into this action. I do not understand why OG Obaji is in this trade. I don't know what the fuck Toronto's doing. But luckily for me, I don't need to know what Shams is doing, what they're doing, because Shams clarified for us. The Raptors will not ask Chris Paul to play for them. They don't fucking want him. They're doing it for cap flexibility and stuff like that. This is to cover Ajabai. Jesus Christ, man, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering everyone's names. And help clear $7 million in tax for the Clippers. Lonzo Ball was also moved, and he was moved into the Utah Jazz. This clears up money. Ball's agent, Rich Paul, is expected to talk about his future with the Jazz soon. Poor fucking Lonzo Ball, man. The Jazz are expected to waive Lonzo Ball where he would become a free agent. I wonder what teams want Lonzo Ball if he gets waived. The Orlando Magic are trading Tyus Jones to the Charlotte Hornets for cash considerations. Man. Poor Tyus Jones, man. Sources have said the Hornets will receive 2 second-round picks from the Orlando Magic in this deal, lifting them to 11 first-rounders, 14 secondary rounders over the next 7 years, which is, I like they're saying what the language of this would lead you to believe that that's a lot of first-round picks and second-round picks. It is not. It is not, especially considering that most people do not know what those picks are. And I'm not going to pretend like I know all of those picks. But what I will say is that 11 over 7 is not that much higher than a 1-to-1 ratio. It's slightly lower than a 2-to-1 ratio too. Should not be impressed by that. Now, the fact that they have 14 second rounders over the next 2 years, like, are we impressed by this? I'm going to be honest with you. You should not be impressed by this. If you are impressed by this, I want you to remember that it's the Charlotte Hornets and they'll probably fuck up the drafting anyway. People put Nipple and they got new ownership and they clearly know what the fuck they're doing, right? Right? Let's just be happy that they got this 8-game winning streak going on. Let's just be happy for that. By the way, it is very strange that there was a lot of rumors, and they made a lot of sense at the time from most people's perspective, that AD was going to be traded to the Hawks to play alongside Trae Young, and if that didn't work out, Trae Young would be just moved. It's very ironic that they find themselves both on the Washington Wizards. That could be interesting if either of those two players ever actually play basketball, but I don't know. The Charlotte Hornets received the 2027 least favorable second round via Boston or Orlando, and a 2028 second rounder by Orlando, sources tell. That was to clarify the thing that I just read to you earlier. Okay. The Warriors have been targeting Porzingis to be added to this team for a while. For the Hawks, there's a high wing upside for Quinn Snyder. Now, I'm not really sure what the fuck this means for either team, honestly. I thought Porzingis fit them rather well when he was actually playing. Again, I said when he was playing. So that's something. I guess you're trading potentially nothing for something. And as far as playing under Quinn Snyder, that's something that could be very interesting for a Kuminga. We've seen how he's been utilizing a lot of the forwards there right now. We obviously see what he's doing with Jalen Johnson. I'm sorry if you found that disgusting and like you just like if you had headphones on. I'm so sorry that you had to hear that, but like it needed to happen because like there's no way I was gonna be able to get past it since it's otherwise. Jalen Johnson, we see how he's utilizing him. I think if he can use him in the system that they have, which is a very loose with the ball, passing all the time system, which is something that he's used to being integrated to in Golden State's offense. I think he can very easily survive and even thrive in Atlanta's conditions. Obviously, he's going to get much more consistent minutes from this guy, from Quinn Snyder, than he has ever gotten from Steve Kerr. So God help Kuminga. I hope the Cumbucket has a great time in Atlanta. I know you can't see it, but I'm visibly smiling for those who are not looking at their screen right now and are probably doing anything else in the video in the background. I don't know. Maybe you're working out. Maybe you're even like just chilling out and being like, dude, I want to support the bros videos. Thank you, by the way. Okay, I think we've covered it. Nope, I forgot to talk about Ayu Dosunmu, who's being moved to Minnesota. I did talk about it a little bit, but not really in depth. That's obviously a pretty good move for them. Chicago has a ton of just like everyone there. Oh, there's a new trade. Well then. All right, so Minnesota traded Rob Dillingham. That was the guard that I was talking about earlier that they just refused to play. I don't know why I thought his name was Shaden. There's another guard on the team that has that last name. I get them confused. I don't know how. But yeah, Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and four big second round picks have been traded for Dosunmu and on Juan Phillips. Who the fuck is Juan Phillips? Who the fuck is that guy? Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend to know about that next game or whatever. Okay, let's talk about what the Lakers did, because the Lakers find a sharpshooter wing for Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and LeBron James, while the Hawks are getting a landed veteran guard. And this to create 11 million in trade exceptions as they pick up an asset. The Lakers are trading Gabe Vincent and a 2032 second round pick to the Atlanta Hawks for Luke Kennard. Now, if you're the Lakers, what you're basically doing here is swapping out Gabe Vincent, who you don't think is as good a shooter as he could be, for one of the greatest shooters of all time. Point blank, period. I know you're saying to yourself, look, Kennard is a... Yes. Now, the problem with this trade is, brother, if you're running Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James, this does not do shit for your fucking defense. This actually might make your defense worse somehow. I'm not even sure how that's possible, to be quite honest. But that actually genuinely might make the defense worse. If this does make the defense worse, it's a bad trade. Obviously. It's not a good trade. But if you're just in Kennard, he can give effort. I'm not saying he won't give effort. But what I'm saying is he's not a good defender. He's just not a good defender. That's just not a thing that he is. This does not do anything for them. Realistically, if you have whatever opinion you have of the Lakers right now, stay packed with it. This does not change anything about that. If you're a Lakers fan, please get the fuck out of my comment section and don't tell me no bullshit. I'm telling you that straight up. Don't fuck with me. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, that looks to be everything. I'm going to refresh the page to make sure that I didn't miss anything as of basically 11 o'clock today. If anything else pops up today, I will report on it tomorrow if it becomes relevant, okay? Good. Now that we're 22 minutes into the video, I'm going to tell you one of two things. If you like the video, I'm not going to say one of two things. I'm going to say a lot of things, actually. If you like the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, dislike the video, but tell me why in the comment section below. I am very open to criticism. So if you want to dislike the video and you want to be like, hey, this video fucking sucked, and here's why, X, Y, and Z, and if it has something to do with other things other than like a lack of editing and whatnot, which is what the channel is supposed to be, I want to make that very clear, then tell me about it. But if you just don't like the video for other reasons and you just like want to be a critic of it, and you're just like not like explaining or telling me things that I can extract the meaning from, don't do that. Don't do that. I'll show up at your house. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that and I won't have to show up at your house. Bye.